Well, hello, folks. Today we're doing lesson 57, and there's 5 parts to it, 5 paragraphs, and we'll try to do it in about an hour. Okay, I'll go ahead with the first one. Today, let us review these ideas. This is from this is lesson 57, but it goes into a review of lesson 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35. This is a review of 31. I am not a victim of the world I see, is the title. And then the paragraph is, how can I be the victim of a world that can be completely undone if I so choose? My chains are loosened. I can drop them off by desiring to do so. The prison door is open. I can leave simply by walking out. Nothing holds me to this world. Only my wish to stay keeps me a prisoner. I would keep my insane wishes and walk into the sunlight at last. Okay. So I'm not a victim of the world I see. And then the first sentence it says, how can I be a victim of a world that can be completely undone if I so choose? So you have free will. In any moment, you can, if you're not at peace with whatever it is you're experiencing, you can undo it. You can choose once again. You can decide to see through love's lens instead of the ego's lens. And so that is what 31 would say.
Mhm.
You have any comments there, Mike? Hey, Charles.
Good morning.
Hey,
Okay.
well, the ego, our egos always want to see us as victims. Everything that's wrong, we always want to see that it's the fault of something that happened out there or somebody else. That's just the ego thought system, the ego mentality, the egoistic mentality.
Yeah, and then sentence number 7, nothing holds me in this world. Only my wish to stay keeps me a prisoner. So if you find yourself a prisoner to this world, if you find yourself aligning with thoughts that are unloving in nature, you are deciding to stay there by supporting those thoughts. But
Mm-hmm.
you can also release yourself and free yourself by deciding to no longer place your time, focus, and energy on those thoughts and thus
Mm-hmm.
create a new world for yourself.
Yeah.
Just in case, Charles, is lesson 57.
The first paragraph?
Yeah, we did the first paragraph.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Okay,
just read the first one.
perfect.
Okay, would you like to do 32, Mike?
Paragraph 2.
Yeah, paragraph 2.
Yeah. I have invented the world I see. I made up the prison in which I see myself. All I need do is recognize this, and I am free. I have deluded myself into believing it is possible to imprison the Son of God. I was bitterly mistaken in this belief, which I no longer want. The Son of God must be forever free. He is as God created him, and not what I would make of it. He is where God would have him be, and not where I thought to hold him prisoner. You know.
So the title of this paragraph is I have invented the world I see. And so if you find yourself as a prisoner in the world, aligned with the emotions of anger, resentment, or hate, or revenge, or sadness, you have chosen, unconsciously as that may be, to view this world through the ego's lens.
Mm-hmm.
And thus you're prisoner to its world. But in sentence number 7, he says, he is as God created him and not what I would make of him. And so your brother or sister is the love that God is,
Mm-hmm.
and only the love in them is true. If you see something other than the love in them as true, then you're not seeing as God, you're not seeing them as God created them. You're seeing them as an invention that you have made.
Mm-hmm.
And so all you have to do is to get back to peace, is to make the conscious decision to see your brothers and sisters only as God created them.
Mm-hmm. The idea is that we can see the world as a prison, or we can see it as a classroom. You know, we can see ourselves as being victims, and everything happens to me, and all this stuff is, it's not my fault. It's, God has done this to me, or the world has done to me this to me, or whatever. Uh, and what the course says is that we can look at the world, same stuff that happens, and see it as a classroom, where we learn that we are beyond all this stuff.
Yeah, and however it is that you see your brother's simply an external picture of whatever your beliefs are, of your internal condition and conditioning. And so all you have to remind yourself is, okay, my brother co-created his journey with God. Okay? God only creates perfectly. And therefore, if I'm judging my brother's journey, then it's not his problem, it's my issue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm judging him, aka and God, as wrong or incompetent. When
Yeah.
in reality, they are co-creating with God whatever path they need to create to grow, heal, and awaken to who they truly are.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I make a conscious decision to let go of my judgments, I can see the world as God created for us to see, share, and enjoy.
There's something beautiful in what you just said as far as awareness goes. One of the things this paragraph brings to mind is what the course is about as far as the teaching of non-duality. The course is saying that this is a non-dual system. However, it's given to us because we believe we're in the world of duality. We believe that there are separate thought systems. So this is telling us that we have the ego's thought system and we have spirit's thought system. And the ego's thought system is the thought system of being a victim. So I believe that I am a victim of the world that I see. So I believe that what? I am in prison because of your behavior. My happiness is dependent upon how you act, what you think, what I think you're thinking. So that's what the course is teaching me. That's what the ego is. It's teaching me to realize that who my brother is not who I think he is. Who I think he is the ego's belief system. The truth is, my brother is God's holy child. And that teaches me that I am God's holy child. Um, that reminds me of something that Mike says quite often. If I'm judging my brother, I'm not happy. However, the one who's judging my brother isn't me, it's my ego. And sometimes my ego may have a right to judge my brother because my brother may be doing crazy things. And my ego is looking at it from a place of self-protection. You know, and in the world of the ego, there are harmful places that we can find ourselves in, and what do? We get out of the way. But that doesn't mean our brother is evil or bad or needs condemnation. That's what the ego will tell us.
Mm-hmm.
What we do with all of our information, even if it's in hindsight, even if I've already judged my brother as evil and they need to go to hell or they're Satan's spawn, is forgive myself for my belief system because it's not true. I've just misperceived. What I like to say is, I could have perceived this differently, or it's like I could have had a V8. It's like, oh, I could have seen this differently. So I go to the Holy Spirit and I say, Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. Whenever I'm caught up in the ego, because the Course says the ego speaks first and loudest. So whenever I'm in a situation and a person's walking down the street and they say hello, my ego's going to respond, are they being threatening? Are they trying to steal my wallet? Why are they saying hello with that tone of voice? Are they being sarcastic? Do they like me? Are they trying to ask me for a date? The ego's going to go through a wide variety of interpretations. You know, spirit is just one thing, love. There's nothing to interpret. That's so beautiful about this. It's simple. It keeps it down to one thing. My mind, it goes crazy. And the Course is, it's love.
Yeah, and the vision that I get, it's kind of like the fog of war. It's how you always talk about above the battleground, but this is a little bit different. It's we have the fog of war here, right? Where the ego's mindset and duality live, right? Where we judge ourselves and the world and our brothers and sisters. But beneath, and this is all a delusion, this is all like a dream. But beneath that dream, there's always the reality. There's always the world that God created for us to enjoy, experience, and share. And so if we just let the fog, when the fog lifts, all that remains is the world that God created us for us to enjoy and share. And so all we have to do in each and every situation is let go of that fog, blow it off through our, like you said, forgiveness. Our forgiveness becomes like that wind that blows the fog away. And then when the fog blows away, all that is left is like the gift that God gave us, share with each other. And so whenever you find yourself lacking peace or sharing any unloving thought or expression, then know that you're in the fog of war. But all you need, no matter what that picture is, all you need is forgiveness. Forgive your misperception of what's truly going on. Forgive your misperception of the present moment, God's eternal gift to us.
Mhm.
And make the conscious decision to see the world through His eyes. And as you do, the fog is lifted. And all that remains is the gift from God to us. And that's the simplicity of the Course. You do that in each and every moment, whenever you feel stuck. Any comments or
Mhm.
questions about that?
No, that's pretty much all.
Okay, let's go to paragraph 3. Okay. Do you want to read it, Charles?
Sure, I will read it, James.
Thank you.
There is another way of looking at the world. Since the purpose of the world is not the one I ascribe to it, there must be another way of looking at it. I see everything upside down, and my thoughts are opposite of truth. I see the world as a prison for God's Son. It must be then that the world is really a place where he can be set free. I would look upon the world as it is and see it as a place where the Son of God finds his freedom.
Yeah. And so this is what the Course always says. I see everything upside down, and my thoughts are the opposite of truth. I see a world as a prison for God's Son. And so anytime you're viewing this world through the ego's lens, you're seeing the world upside down. Well, that's how we've been trained in our life to see the world.
Mhm.
We've been trained to see it and think of it as right side up, when in reality it's upside down. And so when you judge or condemn your brother or sister, you imprison them. You make them a prisoner of this world, and let that be a symbol to you that you're seeing this world upside down.
And you're condemning yourself as well as them. In order to judge and condemn your brother, you have to begin by judging and condemning yourself, and then projecting it out into the world.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the prisoner and the jailer, they both are basically in the same place. And so when you judge, yes, you become the jailer, but that person now is imprisoned within your mind. And now you're holding on to the burdens of judgment and resentment and guilt and shame. And so you yourself are imprisoned with the prisoner that the ego said is your prisoner. By imprisoning anybody else, you have to be that jailer. And so you have to work in the jail system, or whatever system they call that.
Who's the jailer? Who's the prisoner?
Exactly.
Mhm.
But the beauty is that because you jailed your brother, you can also free him. And by doing so, free yourself from having to be that jailer.
Mhm.
And so the beauty is that the power always resides within you. You can live in any moment in heaven or hell on earth. Every moment we make that choice, consciously or not, to live in heaven or hell on earth. But the beauty of that is that we have that free will. We can make that choice. We're not imprisoned in hell. No, nobody else put us in hell. We put ourselves there. And so nobody else can free us. We have to free ourselves through the act of forgiveness and compassion and kindness, and simply seeing your brother and sister as they truly are, the truth in them. The truth will set you free, right? And so that's all you have to do. See the truth in them as true, and you are set free. See anything other than the truth in them as true, and you imprison yourself. And so the beauty of it is that we have the power, not those 8 billion people out there, not those 8 billion situations or interactions. That's the beauty of it, is that it's not up to them, it's up to us. Free will.
I got a problem. I got a problem at work. I gotta log off. If I can, I'll come back in.
Okay, remember that's upside down, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
All
bye.
right, Mike. I hope you work it out soon.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
See
I
you.
wanted to say, James, everybody, hi,
Hi.
that we do change, in these with these trainings, mind training, mind and body and heart training that we're doing. We change in that sense that we become, I think, stronger, less fearful, a little bit more peace. So for that reason, we disengage a little bit easier, I guess, from painful situations, from suffering. Like, I've seen some of my still folks. I have a girlfriend that she says, you don't care that we break up. You don't care. I go like, I do care. I do care. Yes, it's sad. But it's, if it's a decision that you take, if it's something that you want now, it's fine. I have to honor that. I have to respect. So to me, I want my girlfriend to be crying. Because she tells me, I want my girlfriend to be crying, to be suffering, to be like, oh my God, say no, don't break up, please stay. I go, maybe I used to do that in the past. No. It doesn't go. I won't be my knees, pleading, do not go, don't leave me, please stay with me. That's something that I don't think I'm not, you know, if my body, my emotions will call me to do something like that, I probably may. It's something that I don't feel like I have to. It's naturally going like the way, you know, I'm seeing things now. And yes, I show my emotions when I'm happy. I'm super happy. Oh, I love it. Oh my God, I'm so in the moment and the joy. And it is something that sometimes I cry. I cry when the other day I saw a lady leaving this earth. She wanted to hold hand with her, you know, family member. The family members just put the hands like that, and I felt like she did hold my hand. I saw my eyes. She saw my eyes. You know, we look at each other. The morphine dripping started, and she was like saying goodbye to everybody, but not everybody wanted to hold her hand. And since the moment I interacted with her, she was a beautiful human being, easygoing. I don't know in the past things whatever, you know, with the family, whatever interactions they had that were not healthy or something. But times helps, you know, new experiences erases the old ones, new experiences that are nice, new experiences that are loving. To me, that's like, I wish I had that, you know. I know my mom also gave me hard time. But then with the time, it was nicer. It was nicer with the time, you know, the last, I would say, months of her life. I built a friendship. We will talk. We will have conversations that were a little bit more like, "Hey, I have to tell you something, you know, call me later. I have to tell you something." I was like, "Yes, mom, I'm gonna call you." I was like, "Oh my God, how nice." It's like she treats me like a friend, kind of a confidence thing, you know, something that I wish I had when I was younger. I wish I had that when I really needed to talk to someone. It's not like I needed, but of course it was necessary to talk some problems, something from school that I just shut down and didn't had no one to talk. I mean, yeah, but not in a confidential way, not in a like, "What's going on, Isabel? Tell me." Like now I talk to sometimes to my daughters, say, "Hi, what's going on? Come on, sit with me, come cuddle with me a little bit." So then it takes that you know to so people see us different, you know, when we're changing, people will go like you know, you are enjoying your time alone, and you're doing things more like, you know, of fun by myself. I'm happy to do things with a couple of family members, but I also started to go to the movies by myself, and I started to enjoy going to the movies by myself, something like never ever in my life I did. So I go like, that's something nice, you know. I've been doing some treat to myself like that. It's something special. Started going to the gym, and in a consistent basis started to take care of my diet, my food, you know, my veggies, my meat, selecting my fish, selecting things that are organic. I go like, because little, you know, things we are like creating a world that it's healthy, not only just in our mind, but also in our body, what we eat. Little by little, I think we'll start cleansing things, people's places and situations that bringing, you know, to our experiences, something that accommodates more to what really will be fitting and, you know, more in a more peaceful and nice way, I guess, more loving and stuff. So, yeah, there is changes there. They're gonna be people gonna be liking us, or people will be like not liking us much.
Yeah, and the point is that we can use time for healing. And so, yes, we can go into judgment, have experiences with judgment, but we always end up in a dead end road that never delivers to us peace of mind or joy. And we can equally have time in our past experiences. We can deal with anger, frustration, resentment, and they are when we figure when we go through time, we figure that they're all dead end roads. They never deliver to us peace of mind or joy. And so we don't have to punish ourselves for all those experiences we had along the way, because sooner or later they all just taught us that they're the dead end roads. That they don't deliver to us the peace of mind and joy that we want and deserve as God's children and creations. And so if we're not getting what we deserve as God's children and creations,
Mhm.
we can thank our past, because now we can choose differently. And it was only because of our past uh, experiences have made us now a wiser, more compassionate person. And so we no longer have to punish our past or anybody in our past, because they were all part of this healing and awakening process that has gotten us to here, to a place in time when we are aligned with the present moment, with a holy instant, and then when we can choose thoughts, emotions, words, actions, reactions that align us and take us and deliver to us the state of peace. But we're only here because of everything that we went through. And so if everything that we went through got us to this place, wouldn't appreciation be the proper response to everything in our past and everyone in our past? And so this section is paragraph 3. There's another way of looking at this world. So the ego has programmed us to judge ourselves and put ourselves down for what happened to us in our past.
Mhm.
Saying to us that we were not spiritual enough or good enough or not whatever enough. No. All those times simply helped us prepare us to be who we are today. And so thank you, every person in my past, for being exactly how you were, because you got me to this place of understanding, to this place where I can make wiser decisions, to this place where I can make decisions in alignment with the mind of God. Now I can think more in alignment with God, with love. Now I can react with love, more with love, thanks to my past and everybody in there, in my past. And the ego loves to hold on to resentment and guilt and shame when it comes to your past. But that's the ego's. There's another way of looking at the world. There's another way of looking at your life. When each moment can become a gift from God to you. And when you realize that each moment is a gift from God to you, what happens? You become a gift from God to this world. You become that way shower. You become that beacon of light. You become that example of forgiveness over judgment and compassion over condemnation and love over fear and peace over pain. All that is thanks to your past. So no longer carry your past with pain, with judgment, with guilt or shame. That's gone. All those emotions are gone because you're starting to see how useful they were to you. And so you no longer need to carry your past burdens. You can just place them down now. Place them down. Offer them your gratitude and continue on your way and become a beacon of light for others. And so it is beautiful when you can redefine your life in alignment with the mind of God. Any other comments or questions in paragraph 3?
Yes.
All right,
If you don't mind,
please.
I might have a thing or two to say.
Okay.
I enjoyed what you had to say, James. I just wanted to add, especially after listening to Yvonne share, we do change by doing this work. And we start to become more peaceful. We start to become more serene. And that's by going through these lessons. What I am totally amazed at is this is a review lesson, lesson 57, but this specific one that we're doing is a review of lesson 33. So this is, if you're thinking about it, out of 365 lessons, this is so incredibly early in the process of the lessons. So if you think about how much more we still have to go in the process of mind untraining, and with mind untraining, here we are at lesson 57, and we're already reviewing the point that I see everything upside down. Think of how much more we have to go from there. To me, that's already mind-blowing. Just to know that even if I don't take anything else away from the course, but to know that I see everything upside down. You know what a huge gift that is? You know, when I'm looking at this world, I'm looking at it backwards. You using the analogy of the jailer and the prisoner. I'm looking at it upside down. If I'm the jailer and I'm making whoever I'm judging the prisoner, you know, I'm stuck in the jail. I have no peace. You know, I have to always be on guard, you know, so I'm upside down. And what's amazing about that is whoever I am judging, they're free to live their life. So even though I'm judging them, I'm living my life and living this judgment I have in my head about them. And they're going on living their life. They don't know that I'm judging them. And they don't know that they're not supposed to be happy when they're happy. It's like, don't you know you're not supposed to be happy when I'm having these thoughts about you? Why are you so happy? I'm angry at you. Or I have these negative thoughts about you. Stop being happy. You know, that's how the ego works. It's so crazy. So it's so funny. And this is here in black and white. It's like so clear. This is just what we do. This is what the ego does. Our thinking is upside down. And the truth is, it goes on at the end of this. It must be then that the world is really a place where our brothers can be set free. So we're all here to free each other. Everyone we come into contact with, we have an opinion about. So what we're doing and is releasing everyone from an opinion, from an idea, because whatever that opinion is, it's not the truth. Everyone is an eternal being beyond that opinion, that idea, because there's so much more. They're God. They're God's emissary here on earth. They may not know who they are. We're here to see the light in them instead of our idea of who they are. Because as soon as we start seeing ideas about who people are, we're starting to put filters in front of that light, and we're starting to not necessarily see the light of that person, the light of God, or the light of spirit, or the light of Christ that can shine through. So this is amazing to me. It's only lesson 57. How much more is the course going to gift us just with the lessons? It's mind-blowing. This is revolutionary. We're having a revolution right now. Thank you, James.
Yeah, and so if you're not at peace, that shows you that you're seeing the world upside down. If you're judging your brother, if you're condemning him, that shows you that you're seeing the world upside down. If you have anger or resentment or jealousy or hate, you're seeing the world upside down. But what's really happening is that your brother is there to free you from your programming, from the ego's programming. And so your brother is there as a gift from God to you. And if you choose to see him as God sees him, then you free yourself and you turn the upside down world right side up where it belongs. Any other comments or questions before we continue? No? All right. Isabella, you want to do number 4?
Oh, sorry. It's chosen to remember, or the book, right? I'm sorry.
I could read. I don't mind.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's
is. I don't have it.
lesson 57, paragraph
I
4.
don't have my book on here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
left
go
it.
ahead.
I'll
Go
do
ahead.
it.
Go ahead,
I
Charles.
I could see peace instead of this. When I see a world as a place of freedom, I realize that it reflects the laws of God instead of the rules I made up for it to obey. I will understand that peace, not war, abides in it. And I will perceive that peace also abides in the hearts of all who share this place with me. That one is so beautiful. That one is so incredible. That is telling me whatever I'm seeing, I could always see peace. Always. 100% of the time. If I am not seeing peace, I have chosen to see something other than peace.
Yeah, and peace is a reflection that you're in alignment with the mind of God. And so if you lack peace, simply recall that I lack peace not because of anything that's happening out there. I lack peace right now because I'm simply out of alignment with the mind of God. And so all I have to do is to get peace out there again and within me is to consciously align my mind with the mind of God. And by doing so, I see a place of freedom. I'm freed from the upside down world. And then I see a world that actually reflects the laws of God instead of the laws that my ego has made, our egos have made. And so, yeah, peace is a great symbol. Peace or a lack of peace is a great symbol to show you where you are within your mind. Are you aligned with the mind of God, or are you not aligned with the mind of God? Are you aligned with the loving mind of God, or are you not? And you don't have to punish yourself when you're not. You just have to, as the Course says, choose once again. You forgive your misperception and choose once again. You see that the lack of peace is not delivering to you the world you want, and so simply choose once again. Choose thoughts, words, emotions, actions, and reactions that will lead you to that place of peace. And that's the beauty of it. It's always free will. It's always a choice we make. It's nothing out there is making us lose our peace. It's how we're defining what's out there that's making us lose our peace. The power resides within us. And so peace is always just a simple choice away. No matter how dramatic the ego makes the outward environment. The Course says there's no level of difficulties and miracles. And so no matter how dramatic this is, peace is always just one gentle choice away. I can choose peace instead of this.
And that
yeah, go ahead.
and that implies not that they solve the problem, right? The problem doesn't need to be resolved or things need to be to my standards or to my, liking it or something necessarily in order to attain my peace. I think peace is something that we have to decide, consciously. I really don't want to judge. I really don't want to be condemning anyone, attacking or defending myself because one brings the other. I think it's just like a full willingness to be serene, calm. It's like, okay, but it's a position where it brings a lot of the humbleness that we all have, I guess, to be well with what's going on, to be easygoing, in the flow. Like, okay, the door is closed. All right, let me knock. If the door is open, oh well, let me go close it if I want to close it. Because sometimes we are complaining. And I was talking to my daughter in the car when we were coming back from school. I said something about we touched a topic somehow about judgment. I think it was criticism. So she says to me, "But mom, criticism is good." I was like, nice that you say that. Criticism is good. I was like, because I was not easy to be criticized. I was not, that receptive. But I think it came, the criticism from someone that sometimes said love me and then sometimes seems like they hate me, somebody. And so when was criticizing me, even was for a good reason, I think I still was uneasy I still have the memory of other times criticizing me in a good way, like you don't know nothing. Particularly when someone are in their, in their mind with some type of addiction on top, it's not that easy to be criticized by them because it's something else right there, that's not being rational or taking into consideration somebody else's feelings and impacting you negatively sometimes. So in that sense, I try to detach, from the impact, because even though I know that situations like that could to make my energy change, I still kind of like wave around of that because we can have a good day or a bad day. So what I can say that the gratitude on where we are, what we have in this meeting right now, and this experience exchanging, it's so beautiful that right there it's already, something that make my night. Like I feel like it's boosting that side of us that we have, which is serene, which is nice, which is of spirituality, because we have this muscle that sometimes we forget to exercise and nurture, like the body. If we don't nurture the body, it's gonna get weak. Same way, if we don't nurture our spirituality, in this case, and looking at what is taking us away from peace, what is the situation that it's making us anxious, fearful, fear, false evidence appearing real, which is at the end is false, So I've been there. I've been there fearful. I've been fearful to be alone, for example. One of the things that talking to a therapist, I was like, yeah, you're right. Yes. I was fearful to be alone. So when I had a relationship, I had to have someone else before I say bye to this relationship. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. I try not to. So I'm not to be fearful to be alone. So what is helping? This strength that we're getting, by knowing that everything is fine. I mean, with just being scared of sometimes phantasmas, when we can by ourselves feed, drive, work, pay things, and be of service, give, receive. Oh my God, it's so many blessings. And sometimes we forget to be, in that flow and being fearful. So yeah, I was there. I was with so many fears in not that not that long ago. Not that long ago. I'm still working on that. But I guess that what brings me here. Brings me more with enthusiasm on getting something, always get something adding to my bank account of energy, strength, and peace. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
the point is that that I noted from you is that you don't have the outer world doesn't have to change for you to have peace. It can remain exactly as it is.
Mhm.
You don't have to change it for you to have peace. And so you can be in a situation where you lack peace, and then the situation doesn't change at all, but you can choose peace. You can choose to align with this state of peace and see it another way and get peace, even though the outer situation didn't change. And so that's the beauty of this course, is that you can have peace no matter if the outer situation never changes. You can still have peace. And so you're not giving it your power away to the outer situation. And so that's the beauty of it, because the outer situation could be a thousand different things. But
Wendy has her hand up, and I have a quick question
Yeah.
before Wendy speaks. What does "I rang the bell today" mean? Somebody just text me, "I rang the bell," but it was somebody like with cancer. Is that like slang that just means they're like good now, or?
well, okay, when somebody rings the bell, that means they're done with their chemo or radiation.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what it means. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Usually that's good, but
That's good news.
Yeah, that is good news. Yeah,
It just came in just now. I didn't know what it meant.
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Wendy.
That's
Right.
okay. I have a friend with cancer. I'd want to know what that meant too. So I have two things to say. First of all, this is the first time I ever listened while I was in my car. So I drove for most of this meeting. So definitely, I would say my attention isn't the same as, I'm home now, and I got home just in time because that line, "I can choose peace instead of this," is my favorite line. It is what is tattooed in my brain. It is permanent for me. And it is what I have been teaching my students, the ones that I'm doing the pilot project with for my peace project, which I call anti-anxiety mindfulness for the moment. But I have plans to do a big peace project, and I've gotten such beautiful responses from my students, written responses from some of them telling me, that it's really helping them and changing them. And I give them a practice with that line, and then a visualization, and then I'm 2 minutes staring at nature, just looking at leaves move in the trees or whatever. So this idea struck me. This is what I want to tell you. And this all comes from A Course in Miracles. It would not have come from anywhere else. I was like, I really do want to do a peace project. I want to start it on my campus. So this idea struck me on the way to class the other day. And I went by my chair's office this morning and I said, "I have an idea. I want to run it by you. Maybe you could get me a budget for a little bit of it." And what I told her what I wanted to do, and she was very excited. And what I want to do is I do genocide awareness every year. I'm responsible for that. I'm the chair of the committee, and usually I'm the only one on the committee because it's just easier for me to do it with my students. And this is going to be the same thing. I want to make it a committee. I want to be completely in charge of it. I want to get student volunteers to help me. And this is what I want. I want to permanently hang a banner. We have the way our campus is set up. It's all buildings. Just consider them like in a circle, and the courtyard's in the middle. So everybody sees the courtyard at all times. Whenever you're coming in or out of a building, you're facing center. And for genocide awareness, I had a banner printed up, a massive banner that said genocide awareness. It only goes up in April or whatever. I want to do one that says choose peace. Not I can choose peace instead of this, specifically because there's students will be looking at it and they won't know what that means. Instead of what, you know what I mean? Like I can explain that to my students when they're feeling anxious or whatever, but choose peace, I think, can apply to everybody. I want to get a giant banner that says choose peace, massive. And then I asked my chair, I said, what I would really like to do is have an area in this courtyard that is a meditation and mindfulness area with signage. I said, a quiet place students can sit and reflect, something beautiful, maybe even a water feature or flowers, and a sign that directs them. Stare at these flowers for 2 minutes, sit, notice your breath, whatever it is. I want to do that. And she was like, okay. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah. And I said, well, the banner is probably going to cost $200 because that's how much the genocide banner is. She's like, oh, I don't have any money. So I'm like, she's like, but I'll check and see if I can take it from somewhere. And in my brain, I'm going, if she can't take it from somewhere, I'm going to raise that money, or pay for some of it myself and get that banner up there, because I can't imagine anything better than students looking all day long on a sign that says choose peace. I just feel like even if that's all they do is stare at that sign, even if they never meditate or go to that little Zen area or whatever, I'm going to be there's going to be an energetic change on my campus just from seeing that, because I think you internalize it. So I'm super excited. Can't tell you how excited I am for this. And then I'm going to do like a peace poetry slam and, writers for peace with my classes and performances for peace. And I'll have dancers and stuff like that. That'll come later. But right now, Zen Garden, banner, the end.
Make sure you invite us all
You want to come onto my campus? Sure.
for the peace poetry slam and the dancers.
Okay.
Yeah, my sister used to head a poetry slam. Yes, I'd love that.
Okay. If it's open to the community, you're in.
Where is your campus, Wendy?
Will I comp you?
Your campus.
Oh,
Where?
it's in Homestead, Florida.
Homestead.
Yeah, Homestead, Florida. But what I would like to, I would like to start like this, what I just said, but eventually I would like to do so. We have 8 campuses. I would like to do something where all the campuses, we have a peace day. All the campuses are participating. All the campuses are doing poetry. All the campuses. That's what I would like to do eventually, but I'm going to start it on my campus. Oh yeah, and in the spring, I already planned for, I don't know if I'm gonna get permission for this because it's a public display, but I would like to have students paint a peace mural. So I want to find an artist to do an outline of a beautiful mural, and then let all the students come and like color it in. So that's my other plan, but that's for spring.
Hopefully. Okay.
Congratulations, Wendy. Seems like an amazing project.
We'll see what happens. You know,
That's
this,
fine.
I will say that doing this, I'm gonna call it a program because I don't know what else, doing these practices. You know, I think you all know, I don't believe everything you believe. It doesn't matter. The practices are what, you know, just like the book says, you don't have to believe this, try it, see what happens. I am more peaceful and less anxious than I've ever been in my entire life. So, you know, this is where I stay. This is my spiritual home because of that. And I forgot where I was going with that because of my terrible memory. What was I saying directly before? Because I'll tell you what I meant by it.
You
Oh,
said you were going to make spaghetti for everyone.
is that what I said? Okay.
Oh.
Well, you know, it's, to me, it's something that I clearly, and it's hilarious because if you know anything about the Jewish faith, we're the opposite of evangelical. We're not trying to spread the good word. We don't want you. If you weren't born into us, you know, you have to fight really hard to convert to Judaism. It's not like a religion that's like, let's see if we can get as many people as possible. But I'm the reverse when it comes to this. Like, I'm evangelical about this because of, I truly believe in the promise of peace. That, you know, the first day I ever came on Sunday, I said, what's the purpose of this at the end? And they said, you know, everybody said, so you can, or Mike said, so you feel peaceful. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in. And I really believe in this, like, to my core. Forget the religious aspects or the Christian language or anything else. Anything that I can do that engenders peace in other people, in my students, in people I know, in strangers, whatever it is, I feel like that's a mission, you know, like that to me, that's my form of spreading love. And I thought, you know, I want peace in the world. That seems like a big goal. Where can you start? You start with inner peace. That's what we have control over. That's what we can change. I can't change what's happening in Israel. I can't change, you know what I mean? I can't change things in other parts of the world. I don't have that kind of control, and it makes you feel kind of helpless. But this is powerful. This is empowering. I can choose peace. I can tell my students how to be more peaceful. I can try to make my campus more peaceful. I can then try to join with other campuses. And that probably, in my mind, is the only way the world ever changes. Grassroots, start small, spread it, see who else picks it up, try to get a big enough community behind it, and then things change in a big way, not just a small way.
Yeah, as the course says, as you change your mind, you change the world you see. And so when you have inner peace, you start to look at the world through the lens of peace.
Yeah.
And you become a beacon of peace for others. Okay, I'll finish the last paragraph. Is my mind is part of God's. I am very holy.
Of course you would do that one.
As I share the peace of the world with my brothers, Wendy, I begin to understand that this peace comes from deep within myself. The world I look upon has taken on the light of my forgiveness and shines forgiveness back at me. In this light, I begin to see what my illusions about myself kept hidden. I begin to understand the holiness of all living things, including myself, and their oneness with me. End of the lesson. Yes. And so the beautiful thing is that peace is our inheritance. And so all of us, knowingly or not, are always looking for that inner peace. And so just remember that peace is your inheritance, and at any moment you can choose peace. And that you're forever worthy of peace. And that peace is always only a simple choice away.
I love how you can wrap this up by the title of these 5 lessons. I am not a victim of the world I see. I have invented the world I see. There's another way of looking at the world. I could see peace instead of this. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. What an evolution from the first one to the last one. Starting off with me being a victim of the world that I see, letting me know that I am not a victim of the world I see, to letting me know that I have invented it, moving on to telling me that there's even another way of looking at it, evolving into I could see peace instead of the way I'm looking at it, going on to further evolve into my mind is a part of God's. I am very holy. Wow, what a beautiful place to end.
Yes. Beautiful.
What
Yes.
an amazing ladder. The way you to climb up that ladder, it's really amazing the way those five are set up that way.
Yes. Any final comments or questions before we close?
Just thank you for doing this meeting.
Thank you. I'm glad my other sponsee who works in a hospital had to work really, really late and could not meet tonight. So I'm glad I got a chance to join you guys.
So
Oh, boy.
beautiful.
Well, thank you, Charles. Thank you, Wendy, and thank you, Isabel.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Let us all be beacons of peace. this
Yeah.
week.
Peace and joy and yes, yes, yes.